UFO lawyer Danny Sheehan has made a crazy claim. He claims we have an alien being at S4 in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we've been communicating with it. Who is UFO lawyer Danny Sheehan? Well, I'll put a link to another video that I made earlier in the week that explains a little bit further about who he is. But just know he's a very well-respected lawyer, litigator. So long history in litigation. And he's went on a 5 hour Twitter space rant and just dropped all kinds of bombs. So I'm going to put a link to the full 5 hour, and we're going to watch a clip of this particular thing that I just mentioned and just go from there. Hi, I'm Patrick. This is Vetted. Leave a like button. That helps us out a lot. Comment down below what you think of these crazy comments and hit that subscribe button. We put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, except for today. I apologize for today's coming out a little bit later than normal. But that's not the case. In fact, this might be the second time only I've ever done that. Anyway, let's jump in. Let's watch the clip. Absolutely crazy. Let me read this little description here. Mind-blowing revelation from a Blue Book insider on his deathbed to Danny Sheehan. We've got details on 7 distinct alien species. They even interrogated one at S4 that told them they're a part of a coordinated group effort that's monitoring life across our galaxy. They're united by a cosmic entity we might refer to as God, but they're unlike anything we can imagine. What? All right, let's just listen to... And listen, the volume's kind of low, so I'm just going to stop talking and let the clip play all the way through. It's about 4.5 minutes, so let's just get this going.
Danny, you use the word civilization a lot, but I imagine that if we're talking about the scale of the galaxy potentially, or potentially even beyond that, and through a variety of dimensions that we might consider that go beyond the galaxy, either the universe or other planes, or even stuff that's a little more obscured from us here on Earth. Or do you think of it more as like a loose federation, or even not necessarily representative of one particular civilization? You're using that kind of as a broad catch-all, or do you have a more particular sense of what that term galactic civilization or just civilization means to you?
Well, I use it in general terms, just like we refer to our human civilization, even though we have like 193 separate nation states, and we have tons of different languages, and we have tons of different cultures and stuff. That we still have a human civilization, and therefore I think that each given species that we're encountering, and there appear to there are various numbers that are quoted, but I know of the details of some I think 7 different species that you would believe are categorically distinct, in that they probably come from different star systems, each of those species, unless there's more than one species on more than one planet in one given star system, so that my sense is that I'm using the term civilization in the broadest terms of there being some sort of a galactic civilization. As to what degree of communication they have with each other, what type of arrangements they might have with each other, it's not clear. I interviewed one man on his deathbed who called me and had me come to meet with him. He's got tubes on him. He's lying in his bed dying. And he was a member of Project Blue Book that was sent. That he was a part of the team that monitored the classified portions of Blue Book, the sections where they realized they had a real UFO that they were dealing with. And he said that when he went to the site where there was a live extraterrestrial being, that being was questioned and was they had discussions with that person, that being, and that being said that he was part of a group that they came from different star systems, and they were working in a coordinated way to monitor what the state of development of life was on different planets inside our galaxy. And these were the people that were coming here to our planet to monitor what our civilization was like. And so that there was some degree of cooperation, he indicated, among those. And when he was asked, who's in charge there? What was the entity that was in charge of bringing those different star systems together to cooperate in this survey? And he said, well, the being said, according to the person, he said that it's something like you might refer to as God, but it's very different than you think.
Do
That's
you
what he
think?
said.
Do you think, Danny?
Again, I think that in light of the fact that he was on his deathbed telling me about this, I tended to give credit to what he was saying. But he was so upset about the whole thing that he refused to tell anybody about it until he was on his deathbed, because he said he didn't believe him. He thought that the being was diabolical in some way. Now, he was an incredible fundamentalist, this guy that was dying. And so he thought that it was demonic, the being, but the being was at S4 where he was there, and it was actually he wasn't communicating directly. His commander was, but they were taking notes and putting them on note cards when the interview was going on, and that's what he said was on the note card. So I mean, that's all I can tell you about what I know about, at least from that direct interview, about what he said.
Wow. So to recap, apparently there's multiple species across the galaxy, different star systems that are all being run by some entity that we might call God, but they're saying is something different, that coordinates all of it. And we're being monitored. We're one of the planets and life that's being monitored. That sounds absolutely insane. All of that, right? But the idea that this gentleman who was on his deathbed is saying that maybe he didn't believe this entity, that he was diabolical, that's worrisome, right? That's worrisome. And remember, that this gentleman on his deathbed, he wasn't the one actually communicating with this being, right? He's saying, I saw note cards of the conversation. So he never even saw the being. He's just saying he saw note cards from his commanding officer who was the one communicating. And how were they communicating? And the fact that they would just write the answers down on note cards? I don't know. Wouldn't they film this? Wouldn't they? I don't know. This sounds so strange. I don't know. What do y'all think? Right? I don't know what to think about that. One thing is that we've had dead alien, non-human intelligence that we've recovered from a craft or something. Another is we've got them in captivity and we're communicating with them. And, is that possible that there's this, federation out there made up of all these different alien species? Yes. I mean, it'd be like the United Nations, but the global nations, right? Why is that so crazy to think that exists? I guess just because we can't visually see it, right? We see no evidence of it, so then that's impossible. But I don't believe that. So this is crazy, y'all. I cannot wait to read the comments. What do y'all think? What other stories like this have you heard of? And do you know anything about this? Have you heard this story before? I'm curious what details. I'm curious, how many conversations did they have with this being? Again, how did they communicate telepathically? How did they learn each other's language? Or what was the communicate? Does that make sense? They took notes in English, right? But how was the being communicating that they were able to take notes? I don't know. That's what I'm curious about. How long were these conversations? What year? What decade? From what crash? Right? Is this the Roswell alien? Just what crash? Where did this come from? So, man, I cannot wait to read the comments, y'all, about this. And again, he went on this 5-hour, he dropped all kinds of other stuff, right? He talked about Radiance Technologies again and how they're reverse engineering UFO technology for hypersonic nuclear missiles that can make 90-degree turns. Right? Called it the Global Strike Program, something like that. It's crazy. Again, he just started dropping names, places. So again, I'll put a full link or a link to the full interview, discussion, whatever you want to call it. Again, it's 5 hours, and I'll put a link to just this clip, so you can watch just this clip. And let me know what y'all think. I'm curious. I cannot wait to hear or read the comments. So thank y'all again so much for supporting the channel. I apologize for this video coming out a little bit later than normal, but we got it out. So we'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Patrick with Vetted. Remember, every day's a gift. And we'll see you on the next video. Cannot wait to see what y'all say. All right, y'all. Peace.